Serious questions are being raised about accountability at the highest levels of government following a major shake-up in Kenya's energy sector tied to what is shaping up to be one of the biggest corruption scandals in recent years. Petroleum Principal Secretary Mohammed Liban, Kenya Pipeline Company Managing Director Joe Sang, and Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority Director General Daniel Kiptoo resigned from office this afternoon of allegations of irregular supply of fuel into the country. But in a statement issued by Head of Public Service Felix Koskei confirming their exit, key questions remain unanswered. Will the three be held personally accountable despite their resignations? Will there be prosecutions or recovery of any public funds that may have been lost? Or is resignation being used as a substitute for responsibility? NTV's David Muthoka reports.
After the Directorate of Criminal Investigations netted 5 high-profile suspects in a crackdown that began on Thursday, 3 of the most senior among them have resigned from their positions. In the statement, Head of Public Service Felix Koskei confirmed that the government has received the resignation of Petroleum PS Mohammed Liban, alongside that of Kenya Pipeline Company Managing Director Joe Sang and EPRA Director General Daniel Kiptoo. The statement also indicates that administrative action has been initiated against Deputy Director of Petroleum Joseph Wafula and Kenya Pipeline Company Supply and Logistics Manager Joel Mburu. But beyond confirming who has stepped aside, the statement also indicates that administrative action has been initiated against Deputy Director of Petroleum Joseph Wafula and Kenya Pipeline Company Supply and Logistics Manager Joel Mburu. But beyond confirming who has stepped aside, the statement leaves critical gaps. There is no indication that Mohammed Liban, Joe Sang or Daniel Kiptoo will face prosecution, nor is there any reference to possible recovery of public funds should losses be established. Instead, the statement maintains that investigative agencies will continue with the inquiries, quote-unquote, to ensure full accountability. Yet, it does not define what that accountability entails or whether it extends beyond internal administrative processes. The statement is also silent on whether the resignations were voluntary or if they were requested as part of a broader administrative intervention. And while the government states that any act of economic sabotage will be met with firm and decisive action, there is, so far, no confirmation of charges, no timelines for prosecution, and no clarity on whether any individuals have been formally implicated. In response, the DCI has this evening stated, and I quote, "We are doing everything possible to deal with this matter expeditiously and will forward the file to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, or DPP, in due course. Those found culpable will be dealt with firmly in accordance with the law, regardless of their positions, including the directors of the companies involved." The statement by John Marete on behalf of DCI continues. Accordingly, the Directorate of Criminal Investigations wishes to inform the public that resignation from office does not in any way exonerate or absolve the suspects and persons of interest from criminal culpability. They are therefore strongly urged to cooperate fully with the investigators. Further, the statement indicates the public is assured that this investigation is being conducted with the highest level of professionalism, transparency, and urgency it deserves. The government remains firmly committed to zero tolerance on corruption, safeguarding public resources, and ensuring transparency and accountability in all public procurement processes. This, despite the investigation touching on the country's fuel supply chain, a critical sector with direct implications on the economy and the cost of living. The concerns are further compounded by emerging global risks. Rising tensions linked to the Israel and U.S. war with Iran are now affecting the movement of fuel shipments through the Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's most critical oil transit routes. Any disruption along this corridor could impact fuel supplies into the country in the coming days, raising the stakes around the ongoing probe into the country's petroleum supply chain. It is these overlapping concerns that are now fueling political tension.
So those people are in custody, not that they have committed any crime. They brought cheaper fuel for the country so that Kenyans do not suffer. They are patriots, they are heroes of this country.
DCP leader Rigathi Gachagua maintaining that his former boss President Ruto is responsible for the woes of those implicated.
They will be taken to court on trumped up charges that they brought substandard fuel. But the truth of the matter is that they are in competition with William Ruto and they have denied him profit. And what has happened is that William Ruto increased 8% of VAT for petroleum products. Then he added another 7 shillings for fuel levy. He used the fuel levy 7 shillings to borrow from banks 175 billion. This 175 billion is what him and Kindiki have been going around bribing people in Kenya.
There is a program called G2G.
Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndende Nyoro has also questioned the true nature of the unfolding events, suggesting the developments may be driven by internal power struggles rather than a pursuit of accountability.
The issue of arrests of the EPRA CEO and the Kenya pipeline and the PS for energy, and especially the petroleum part, it has very little to do with the welfare of Kenyans. It has everything to do with watu wadogo wamekula chakula ya mzee. And Kenyans need to know this clearly so that we remove the veil out of whatever it is happening in our fuel sector.
The implicated officials will be forced to spend the Easter holiday behind bars ahead of a possible arraignment on Tuesday next week. David Muthoka, NTV, at the Gigiri Police Station, Nairobi.